The rain fell in relentless sheets that night, drenching the crumbling ruins of Blackthorn Manor, an abandoned estate long whispered about in fearful tones by the villagers below. They said the house had a voice, that it sang, a low, hollow hum that drifted through the fog when the moon was hidden, as if the walls themselves remembered every scream ever uttered inside. When Amelia, a young journalist hungry for a story that could resurrect her failing career, arrived at the manor with nothing but her recorder and camera, she laughed at the warnings of the innkeeper who had begged her not to stay past midnight. But laughter turned to unease the moment she stepped through the rotting doors. The smell of damp wood and iron, like rust and dried blood, hung thick in the air, and faintly, beneath the steady drip of water from a cracked ceiling, she heard it. A distant, sorrowful choir humming an unholy lullaby. Each creak of the floorboards seemed deliberate, as though the house was aware of her presence, leading her down halls where portraits hung crooked, their painted eyes following her with malicious intent. As her camera flashed, catching glimpses of twisted shadows in corners where nothing stood, Amelia's breath grew shallow. The choir grew louder, not from the walls now, but from inside her own skull, vibrating through her bones until she could hear whispers forming beneath the hum. "Sing with us! Stay with us!" Her recorder picked up voices that weren't there when she played them back. Children sobbing, a man pleading, a woman's scream cut short. Then she saw them. Pale, eyeless figures at the end of the hall, their mouths stretched impossibly wide as the humming became shrieking. Amelia ran, but every door led back to the same corridor. Every staircase turned in on itself, the manor folding like a labyrinth around her terror. When her flashlight flickered and died, the darkness felt alive, pressing in on her as cold hands brushed her neck and tugged at her hair. The choir roared now, 1,000 tortured throats tearing at the air, and Amelia's last thought before the house swallowed her scream was that the innkeeper hadn't been warning her to leave. He had been warning her not to listen. By dawn, Blackthorn Manor was silent again, save for the faint hum of a new voice joining the hollow choir. The sun never truly touched Blackthorn Manor, even in the brightness of morning. The mist clung to the roof like a suffocating veil, and the trees surrounding the estate twisted in unnatural angles, their bark scarred with claw-like marks that no animal could have made. Villagers dared not approach, but they swore they saw Amelia's car still parked outside the rusted gates, its driver's side door wide open, keys dangling from the ignition as if she had fled in panic but never made it far. Inside, the walls seemed to pulse faintly, the faded wallpaper breathing in and out like the chest of a sleeping beast. The choir was quieter now, their whispers barely audible, like a lull before another storm, yet the manor had begun to change. The once empty corridors now held fleeting glimpses of Amelia, a shadow caught in broken mirrors, a fleeting reflection in the cracked glass of a cabinet, her mouth wide open in silent scream, her eyes hollow and wet with despair. As night fell again, the manor woke. The choir's hum returned, deeper this time, vibrating through the earth itself. Doors that had been nailed shut centuries ago creaked open on their own, revealing new passageways that bled into the blackness of the foundation, where cold stone floors were slick with something that wasn't water. It was there, beneath the house, that the real heart of Blackthorn beat, a massive, pulsating root-like structure fused with bones, human bones, woven into the walls. Each skull seemed to moan faintly, and among them, one wore Amelia's necklace, its empty sockets leaking dark tears. From that pulsing mass came a voice, clearer than the rest of the choir, a siren call that echoed up through the house, wrapping around the night like a strangling vine. "Bring them to me," and it obeyed. That very night, a group of thrill-seeking explorers from the city, curious after seeing Amelia's abandoned car on social media, arrived with cameras and bravado. They mocked the legends, laughing at the cracked facade and telling themselves it was all just local superstition. But when they crossed the threshold, the air turned thick and heavy, and their laughter curdled into fear. The choir's whispers snaked into their ears, mocking one, seducing another, enraging the next, until they began to distrust each other, arguing in circles as if their own thoughts weren't their own. The manor closed behind them, its doors sealing like the snapping of jaws. One by one, they vanished into the dark, A scream swallowed by the walls, a splash of blood on a staircase that led nowhere. A phone left recording as its owner was dragged away into blackness, their feet scraping the floor.